I have you. Try to move. I have you.
The corridor is... You need to leave. Save yourself.
Not without you. Hold on.
The ship was dying when I found her. Not in the gradual way that ships sometimes die. Systems failing in sequence, time enough to respond, time enough to plan. This was the other kind. The kind where the hull integrity warning and the atmosphere breach alarm and the structural collapse indicator all fire at the same moment, and the ship's AI says, in the flat tone it uses when it has run out of better options, immediate evacuation recommended. I was Commander Oryn Vael, attached to the Joint Recovery Unit tasked with clearing the debris field from the Keth engagement 3 days prior. We were not supposed to encounter survivors. The engagement had been declared complete. The field had been declared cold. It was not cold. I found her in the secondary corridor of what had been a Vela civilian transport. A non-combat vessel that had been in the wrong region of space at the wrong moment in the way that civilian vessels sometimes are, which is a fact about war that the operational reports never quite capture correctly. She was on the floor. The surrounding debris had formed a partial shelter around her, not by design, but by the geometry of a collapse that had somehow missed her. She was alive. I knew this before I reached her because her eyes were open, tracking me, which is a thing eyes do when the body they belong to is still running its processes. She was also, my suit's bioscan confirmed in the same moment I reached her, approximately 7 months into a Vela gestation. I have you, I said, which was the first thing I said to her, before I knew her name or her species designation or any of the things that the protocol forms would later ask me to specify. She looked at me. Dark eyes, deep set, the kind of eyes that had clearly seen a significant number of things in their time and were currently seeing me with the full attention of someone who has decided that full attention is the correct response. Human, she said. Her standard was clear and precise despite everything. You should leave. The structural, the corridor. I know about the corridor, I said. I'm not leaving. She looked at me for a moment longer. My name is Vela, she said. Oryn, I said. Hold on. Getting her out required 37 minutes, which I know because my suit logged every second of it, and because I have looked at that log more times than I should probably admit. The structural situation in that corridor was, as she had been trying to tell me, not good. I navigated it the way I navigate things that are not good, by finding the path that exists rather than the one that should exist, by moving carefully and quickly, by making decisions faster than the alternative could make them for me. She was quiet throughout. Not unconscious. She checked in whenever I stopped moving, a small sound that meant still here, which I answered by moving again. The baby, the bioscan noted, was stable. Stress indicators elevated, as they would be, but within range. We made it to the extraction point with 6 minutes before the corridor collapsed. I know that because I also looked at that part of the log. The medical team met us at the airlock. I handed Vela over, carefully, the way you hand over something you have been responsible for and are now entrusting to people better equipped than you. And they took her into the medical bay and closed the door, and I stood in the corridor outside and did the thing that comes after adrenaline, which is nothing in particular, for a few minutes. The debrief took 2 hours. Standard recovery operation procedure. I answered the questions accurately and completely, and did not mention the 6 minutes. That evening, the medical officer found me in the common area. The patient is asking for you, she said. Vela was sitting up when I came in. The medical bay had done what medical bays do. She was cleaned and treated and connected to monitoring equipment that tracked both her readings and the baby's, and she looked, if not well, then considerably more organized than she had looked in the corridor. She watched me come in with those dark, attentive eyes. Sit, she said, with the particular authority of someone who is injured but has not stopped being themselves. You did not leave, she said. No, I said. I told you to leave. Yes, I said. Why didn't you? I thought about the question. It was a genuine one. She was not making a point, she was asking for information, the way she would ask for any information she needed. Because you were there, I said. And you needed someone to not leave. So I didn't leave. She looked at me for a long moment. I need to tell you something, she said. And I need you to hear it completely before you respond. All right, I said. Among the Vael, she said, when a person saves the life of a pregnant mother in extremis, genuinely saves in the way that you saved, there is a designation. It does not translate well into standard. The closest word is chosen. The galaxy, in Vael understanding, does not place people in moments like that corridor by accident. It places the right person. I was quiet. The chosen person, she said, is understood to have a bond with the child. Not legal, not in the way your culture would recognize, but real, in the way that my culture recognizes it. She reached out and took my hand with the deliberate intention of someone who has thought carefully about this gesture before making it. The galaxy chose you, she whispered, as my baby's father. I did not respond immediately. I had been asked to hear it completely before responding, and I was doing that, turning it over, looking at it from the available angles, feeling the weight of it the way you feel the weight of things that are going to change the shape of what comes next. I'm a recovery officer, I said eventually. I have a posting. I'm not. I don't have context for this. I know, she said. I am not asking you to understand it fully right now. I am asking you to not dismiss it. I looked at her hand in mine. At the monitoring equipment tracking 2 sets of vital signs. At the planet visible through the medical bay's small porthole, turning slowly in its own business. What does it mean practically? Said. The designation. It means, she said, that I will name you when she is born, and she will know who you are. And you may be as present or as absent as you choose. The designation does not compel. It only acknowledges. She, I said. Vela looked at me. The monitoring equipment showed 2 steady rhythms.